let's get started.
Best podcast ever.
That's right.
Do
That's
it.
what I always say. Hey, everyone. Welcome to The More You Know, The Better It Tastes, the very best podcast ever.
That's right. It is the best.
It is. Hosted by San Antonio Restaurants. I'm Susie Lafredo, and I'm here with my business partner.
Yes, I'm Alan Williams, and we are so glad to be here today.
We are.
Listen, this is going to be a good one. Have you heard about the Old English Tea Shoppe?
I have been to the Old English Tea Shoppe,
Have you
and
now?
it is fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. It is at 20122 Stone Oak Parkway. That's where Stone Oak, is that Evans Road intersects? It's back in there. It's such a cool place. And we have the owner, Dr. Robb Kelly, today. Dr. Robb, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here. Absolutely great to be here.
And as you can hear from his accent, he's from California.
I usually tell people West Texas, and a few people
Right.
go, "Oh, really? No, not really."
Well, Robb is from Manchester, England, actually. And we're going to hear his story because his story is absolutely fascinating. So, folks, hang on to your seat because this is going to be it'll blow you away. But we also want to talk about his tea shop and restaurant that is just having such great food and doing some amazing stuff, something that San Antonio hasn't had. So.
Exactly. Yeah, it's something new and different and exciting for San Antonio. Yeah.
So I'll call you Dr. Robb. That's comfortable to call you Dr. Robb.
Yeah, that's what everyone calls me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not Dr. Kelly, Dr. Robb.
Yes.
So what kind of a doctor are you?
So I'm a double PhD in behavioral science and psychology.
Double PhD?
Yeah, double PhD.
You're an overachiever, aren't you?
Just a little. I have one of those brains that's either all in or all out. There's no gray area or middle area for me. So if I'm going to do something, I do it. But because of my main job, we deal with a lot of childhood trauma, depression, alcoholism, addiction. We added the behavioral science part because we knew that was a missing part, and we also specialize in neuroscience, which again, these days, it's 5% addiction, 95% people who want to change their lives, and people, suffer from childhood trauma, and they just want to live. Most people walk around at 60% of their capability and capacity.
I believe
because
that.
of the trauma. What we do is we free them up and we get them to 100%. And
wow,
our track record is amazing.
You literally could have every single person in you as a patient, and because everyone has issues.
That's what we say. I mean, everybody. I'll tell you what I'll do. Listen to this, guys. Everybody listen to this podcast. If you come find us, we'll give you a free 20-minute 9D breathwork stroke therapy. It's the latest thing in subliminal message and rewiring the brain, free of charge, just for this show.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
Let's start with, how did you were in England, how did you end up in San Antonio?
So I was in England, and I came here for 2 weeks. I came to Dallas, Texas. There was a big church in there, Plano, and they'd heard of the work I'd done, and they invited me over for 2 weeks. So over I come with 2 weeks worth of clothes, just about 2 weeks worth of money, because I was still quite poor those days. And the weirdest thing happened. I got off the plane and I stepped onto the tarmac, and the thought hit me, I am never going back home. So
Wow.
I'm going to stay here. Now, I have no idea what it takes to stay here, but, we worked it out. And my career and everything else that I do took off from the day I landed at DFW.
Wow. Now, were you surprised when you got here and people didn't wear cowboy hats and ride horses everywhere?
I was looking for the
have
horses.
that.
Yeah. They still say to me now, back home again, how many horses have you got? It's very funny. So, no horses, guys, and no cowboy hats.
Right. Well, maybe a few.
Yeah,
but,
a few, yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you ended up in Texas and came from Dallas to San Antonio. We're thrilled to have you here. Now, you are known as the therapist. What are you known as?
I'm known as a few things. The addiction doctor is one of those.
Yes.
And then we do a lot of coaching for the stars. We work with a lot of famous people, high-profile people. So everyone calls me Dr. Robb. But like I say, we specialize in a lot of things. We basically put families together is what we do. So exciting all of the time. I have my best friend, stroke assistant with me all of the time, Ashley Powell. She's amazing.
Yes, Ashley's here. Hi,
Yeah.
Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. So when you landed in DFW, I mean, did you already have your client base and all that kind of thing? So,
Oh, no.
So you had to build all of that.
I came here with $200 in the bank.
Wow.
Or in my hand, sorry. Nothing in the bank. I was thinking I was in the red. And that was it. I mean, I came over here with nothing, gone through a bad divorce, split up, homelessness, all that stuff. And I just saw this as an opportunity for 2 weeks to get away, like a vacation. So,
Wow.
no, I was not prepared financially. I had no patience whatsoever. And, I did a lot of sleeping on couches in the early days.
Yeah.
So you
Wow.
just teased it a little bit about the homelessness. I do know that you have an incredible story. Could you tell us that story?
Yeah, so I come from an alcoholic family, a very poor family. I come from the projects, as you were saying, America. We call them the council estates, very poor. Dad used to dig roads for the gas company, and my mum was clean people's houses, which I always hated the thought of my mum having to do that. But they were happy, and it was a loving family. So there's alcoholism in the family, which I didn't know. So I was drinking. I took my first drink at the age of 9 years old on stage. I was a pro musician at one time. 9 years old, musical family on stage in Liverpool, where the Beatles come from. I took my first alcoholic drink. And there's a lot happened between that, I started drinking most weekends through school. I just about scrambled through college and got to college. I did not get there on my own merit. I belonged because they needed an organ player in the Freemasons Lodge, which is very secretive back in the UK, not like it is here, which got me a place in Oxford when I finally went. And got married, had 2 children.
So now, when you went to college, that was already for a medical degree, or
Well,
was that
I
a
actually
different
started
degree?
with a medical degree, but they threw me out med school, and they said because I was drunk every day, you have 2 choices: you can leave, or you can go to Trinity College and get your PhD. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
But the homelessness came after that, which many people have been used as. Like, you was a doctor, and then you became oh yeah, I did some horrific thing. My children got taken off me. My wife left one day. I'm not too sure how much we can go into this, but I kind of attacked her with a knife 3 times when she wouldn't let me finish my bottle of vodka. And I fled to Spain so I wouldn't get arrested for attempted murder. But when I came home, she had all her stuff packed, and she had the 2 kids, age 1 and 3.
Wow.
And she left me. I got hold of my attorney because I was running a successful telecom business at the time. And next day he came around with my children. I paid him a big check, and I put my children in front of the TV. And it's like, told you can't mess with me, you don't know who I am, kind of thing. And I went in the kitchen. I was sober 2 days. I went in the kitchen to get something, and I thought, let's have 1 beer to celebrate, get my kids back, because my wife was furious, but legally I had them back. That's the last thing I remember, is the 1 beer, opening the 1 beer. And 2 days later, when the police kicked the door down, the children had not been fed for 2 days or changed diapers.
Wow.
I nearly killed them. The police came in, and they kicked me awake. There was empty bottles of vodka. So obviously I'd left the children there to go to the liquor store several times. And they took my children off me right there. And this is the harrowing moment that 30 years on, I still brings tears to my eyes. Is Mum grabbed the 3-year-old, Charlotte, we call her Charlie, and the mother-in-law grabbed the 1-year-old. And as Charlie's walking down the pathway holding onto Mummy's hand, like they do as the kids, she said 3 things to me. She said, Daddy, please don't go. And then I was crying. One of the police guys were crying as well. It was just a sad scene. And our alcoholism, it's the real deal. It's what it does to us, And then halfway down the path, she turned around one more time and she says, Daddy, please get better. And as she got to the gate, we opened this big wrought iron gate of this beautiful house we own. She turned around one more last time and said, Daddy, please stop drinking. 30 years.
Wow.
Never seen him.
Wow.
Never seen him for 30 years. So shortly after that, everything had been taken off me. I drank myself almost to death. And within 3 months, I was living on the streets. I'd lost my houses, my cars, my wife, my kids. Family won't speak to me. Mum and Dad disown me. Friends won't speak to me. And I was begging on the streets. And I actually slept on park benches, under trees, in the freezing cold snow.
Do you remember the first night that you had to sleep outdoors?
Alan, wow. Wow, no one's asked that question in the years I've been doing this. I do, like it was yesterday. I remember sat on this bench in the middle of Manchester called Piccadilly Gardens, and I was sat there, and this was my first thought: what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a blur to me. And then I tried calling home, nobody answered. Started going around the houses to call the police, and then about 2 weeks into it, it suddenly hit me that I was abandoned, and nobody wanted me. So 7 suicide attempts, and on 2 occasions I died. Twice on the streets I was dead, and they brought me back to life. And it's funny really now because of businesses and what I do and the way I dress and the way I don't really give a care about what anybody thinks of me, is they always say, how come you've got this attitude that's, I died on the streets of Manchester.
Yeah.
Everything from there, why wouldn't you take a chance? Why wouldn't you grasp life? And eventually, I got off the streets.
So what was it that was that pivotal moment or whatever in your during that time? Because I can imagine, you're in this depression and you're going through all of these things. What was it that finally, I don't know, was that click moment you were like, okay, you know what, I need to.
Well, I could definitely not get off myself. I know that, and 97% of people in Manchester that are homeless die on the streets. Mm-hmm. So the odds were against me. But one morning, Monday morning, 2:00 in the morning, ish. I'm walking down the factory part of Manchester where there's no human beings because it's the middle of the night and it's just for work. I dropped down to my hands and knees and it was pouring down with rain. And I started to cry. I wasn't crying from here, my chest. It was one of them ache belly cries. Mm. And here's the crazy part. I wasn't crying because I'd lost my children or my wife or my houses. I was crying because it was the first time after 14 months on the streets, I realized I couldn't stop drinking. Mm. I looked up to the sky and
it wasn't until then that you realized I've got an issue.
I didn't think there was a problem. Just going through some bad luck. It'll be okay, but it was never okay.
Right.
I did a lot of bad things on the streets. A lot of bad things were done to me. But I looked up to the sky and said, if there's a God up there, I can't do this on my own anymore. As an atheist. Guys, 3 minutes after that, this guy walked around the corner. He'd missed his last bus home from a Bible study. He had a little Bible in his hand. I was not religious whatsoever. He came over to me. His name was Derek. He said, are you okay? And I said, no, I'm dying. And he said, I know exactly what you're going through. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Come back to the house. You can stay as long as you like. And that's where my journey started. I later went on to meet a guy called John in one of the AA rooms. And what happened with him was just miraculous because I went round to his house every Wednesday night to sit with him.
Yeah.
We read the Bible, we read the big book of AA for 12 weeks. And then that's when I got better. And that's when I realized who I really was and what I was capable of doing. But after, he would tell me the last night, he said, your life's going to change from tomorrow. And I said, John, I love you to bits, but it can't change from tomorrow. I'm in this guy's basement, blow up mattress. Nobody knows I'm there. The very next day, Derek came home and said, the guy sweeping the floors just resigned. Do you want a part-time job? So after I got my first, which later turns into a full-time job, when I got my first paycheck, I went back, I bought a little teddy bear, probably 2 or 3 inches high, that's all I could afford, and a card. And I wrote on the card, thank you, John, for introducing me to God, because he took the compulsion away to drink. And I went back to his house. And when I got there, his apartment, it looked slightly different, but I was knocking on the door, and the right-hand woman came out and says, can I help you? And I said, yeah, where's John moved to? And she said, John. I said, yeah, John. She says, well, I'm sorry, I've only been here for 3 months. There's been no one in that apartment for the 3 months I've been here. Wow. So she closed the door, and I went around to the left, and I'm banging on this guy's door. A big guy came to the door. What do you want? So where's John relocated to? He was, what are you talking about, John? I said, John, your neighbour, where's he relocated to? And he said, I don't want you playing with me. He said, that apartment is derelict. If you walk into that door, you'll fall down to the basement. You must be crazy. Wow. So then I went back to the meeting, because John wouldn't let me in. I got there for 7. He wouldn't let me in at 1 minute to. He was dead on 7. And at 1 minute to 8, no matter what we were talking about, he'd stop and he'd walk me to the door out. I thought that was weird. Mm-hmm. But I went back to the meeting where I met John. And when I went in, the chairman was there and he went, oh, Robert. And I said, oh, you remember me? He said, yeah. Does John still come to the meeting? And he said, John who? I said, the guy was over near the coffee machine talking to him. He said he wouldn't sponsor me, but he'd be my spiritual advisor for 12. That John. And he started to chuckle. So just before I grabbed him by the throat, because now I feel embarrassed. And he said, Rob, calm down, Rob. He said, you were over near the coffee machine speaking to yourself. We thought you were praying. Never found that guy.
Wow.
When I started to get wealthy, I put the best private detective team in Manchester. They could never find him. Nobody had heard of him. Nobody could find him. But what he taught me is the reason why I'm here today, helping people.
Wow. That is absolutely incredible.
So it was the moment that you finally said, okay, I'm ready for help.
Yeah. It got up there. You know, I can't do this on my own because I couldn't live and I didn't want to die. It's like I tried suicide so many times, but God, Uncle Jimmy, universe, they didn't want me to die. I tried jumping in the cars. I tried hanging myself. The rope snapped. I tried overdoses. Somebody found me. I tried, cutting my wrist. Somebody found me. I tied myself to railroad tracks. The train veered off 100 yards before it came to my...
Right.
It was just incredible. So I knew there was something there. And for 10 years, I would not tell that story because I thought you might think I was crazy.
So do you I don't know, have you come to the conclusion within yourself, because I feel like I have already, but that all of that you went through was so that you could be in this place right now helping other people?
Susie, you are so right. I look back now and I look at the homelessness, I look at the loss of the children, and it was like a semester at Harvard University for me because the knowledge I gained.
Yeah.
So here's the best part, guys, before we start talking about our beautiful tea shop. It's 4 years ago, after I don't know how long, 20, 30, I don't know how long, my eldest daughter, the girl that said, Daddy, please stop drinking, she messaged me on Messenger. And it was the middle of the night, so because of the patience, if it goes, I have to get it. And it was her, and she said, Dad, she called me Dad. She said, I've just seen you on TV. I don't believe what Mum told us. I want to see you. I've got something to show you. So within 20 minutes, we were booked on flights. We flew over on the red eye. We got there the next day. I'm nervous. I'm shameful. I'm full of guilt. What the hell are you doing here? You don't deserve to be here. What kind of dad was you? And just before I knocked on the door, she opened it unexpectedly, and we kind of hugged and we cried. And then she grabbed me by the hand and she says, I've got something to show you. My God. She walked me into a front room and she handed me my 3-month-old granddaughter.
Wow.
7 weeks ago, my youngest daughter got in contact with me on Messenger.
Fantastic.
So everything's
Wonderful.
come back because
Yes.
for me, and this sort of bleeds into the tea shop, I'm always giving back. We bless people monetarily every time we leave the house. We probably spend $150,000 a year, me and my wife, giving back. It's one of the reasons we opened the tea shop was not so much to make money. I got to be honest with you guys, I've got as much money as I need.
Yeah.
But I asked my sister to come over, and because she wanted to come over here, I said, let's get an investor's visa and start, is to give back. We wanted a new culinary experience for San Antonio. I mean, it's, we're not there. I mean, we run a business where you hire staff. It's amazing. At the moment, we're not making a profit. But the first 6 months, it was planned not to because we pay everything off that we've bought. Sure. But, it's just to be of service. I think being of service to another human being is the greatest sacrifice one can give.
Yeah.
And if I stay in that gratitude, if I stay in that moment, if I never say no to somebody unless, we know that they're using us, then I'm gonna be okay. Me and my family's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, folks, Robb didn't ask me to do this, but if you want to read his whole story, he's got a book. You can get it on Amazon. I'm sure there's other places you can buy it, but I saw it on Amazon. And he told the story of his daughter looking back, and the last thing she said to him was, Daddy, please stop drinking. That's the name of the book. So look for his book, Daddy, Please Stop Drinking, and you can read this incredible story. With that, let's take a break, and we'll come back, and then we'll talk about your restaurant.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Wow, what a story.
I told
you. I know. I mean, that was just a very condensed version, but I mean, it almost, I know that you went through such a horrible time, but do you understand and realize how blessed you are?
Oh, every day.
That you did go
Yeah.
through all of that, and now you're able to help so many people and be where you're at. It just blows
Well,
my
if you
mind.
look at John was an angel.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's no doubt
Oh, yeah.
about that.
No doubt.
Yeah,
With the
for
knowledge
sure.
he taught me and what we do today, we have like a 97% success rate in our field. No, the nearest one is probably 9%. 9%. We have a 97% success rate because it all comes from him. What he taught me, what he told me, the neuroscience that we do today, the passion that we all have. It's one of the reasons Ashley and myself met at a conference.
Yeah.
She wasn't supposed to be there. I got asked last minute to be there, but when we connected, there was like such an attraction because of our minds, and I found out what she'd been through and I'd been through.
Yeah.
It's about
Ashley
passion.
has a story here also.
Yeah,
so.
horrific story. But it's about passion.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get behind what you do and if you believe what you do and if you're not in it for the money, God will take care of all that stuff for you.
Yep.
Just do what you need to do. Be kind to people, compliment people on a daily basis, and give back freely. That's what we live by.
Well, and I think that if everybody realizes and understands that everything that you go through in this life is for that reason. It's
100%.
everything, you know.
So you learn a lesson here because you need it here. The amount of times I go around the tea shop and meet, you know, like an old vet with his family, and I go, okay, when you're done, I got the bill. Oh, no, just I got the bill, don't worry. And when people come in that smile, I got that bill. I give more money away. Everybody, little kids that go out get free candy off me. My sister's like, we're supposed to be making a profit. Like, come on, it's a candy bar for the kid.
Right.
The parents are happy. He's happy. We just want people to go out smiling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's perfect industry to be a part of because that's, you know, that's one of the things that we hear, which we probably should, but that's one of the things that we hear all the time from restaurant owners is I think it's one of, you know, they're in it because of the hospitality, and that's what keeps them going.
Yeah.
Even in the struggles and when their restaurants are having a rough time, that's what keeps them going is seeing that smile across the room or seeing them enjoy their.
Feeding
I
somebody,
don't
taking
get
care
paid
of
from the tea shop. My sister does, and you know all the stuff. But I go there Friday and Saturday for a couple of hours to speak to people, and I tell them stories about England and Manchester.
So
and
cool.
They just love it.
So I'll have to bring my mother-in-law when you're there. So you're
Yes.
there on Friday and Saturdays. You said?
No, Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Sometimes Friday, but my office is
Usually
right
Saturday
next
and
door.
Sunday.
So if I got no peso in between, we often pop next door and just mingle.
Okay.
We call it
I'll
snoozing.
I'll message you, Ashley.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. One thing I still don't have down is the time frame. How old were you whenever you lost everything?
I was about 26 because I got sober and came off the streets at 28.
Okay.
So a few years ago. I don't know how that works as I'm only 35, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's odd. And then how did your PhD in England probably didn't work in the United States? Didn't you have to retest and everything, or?
You know, Texas I came over here and I contacted a few states just in case. All the states we contacted, no problems. Just send your stuff in, send your transcripts, get the college to send it with a stamp on, no problems. Any tests? No tests. We'll issue a license. Texas, they wait another 27 hours. 27 hours of extra work.
Yeah.
So it was a
Schooling.
night. I'm like, I wanted to scream, and do you know who I am and what I could bring to this country? But no, they were. It's all about fees.
Yeah.
Texas is about, and I love it for that. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but yeah, it was a little bit of a battle to get over.
Wow. All right.
If you don't know me, my name is David Dyken. I'm with San Antonio PS. We are the local SkyTab sales and service office here in San Antonio, Texas. We come in with no money up front. We take a copy of the merchant's menu, we program it, we professionally install it, we train them how to use it, and provide unlimited support for both the hardware and the software. We're on site today at Max and Louie's, probably one of the most demanding hospitality environments here in San Antonio, and they're a great showcase for our technology. We have kitchen display systems, we have tableside ordering and payment devices, integrated online ordering for one of our favorite customers. So some of the features that you can enjoy with your POS system as a merchant is you'll have an included free loyalty program, a gift card program, free integration with third-party companies like DoorDash and Uber Eats, inventory control systems. We have a reservations module, lots of freebies that you're going to be paying a premium price for with other systems. There's no money up front. There's no risk to a merchant when they come on board. They pay for shipping and shipping only. They get to use the equipment for 30 days. If they don't like it at the end of the 30 days, you just ship it back. No obligation. At the end of 60 days, if they're happy with their system and they want to keep it, then we give them a $5,000 sign-on bonus just for coming on board. So it helps defray all costs for getting your new POS system. I'm David Dykin with San Antonio POS. Come visit us at sanantoniopos.com. Thanks.
And welcome back. This is The More You Know, The Better It Tastes. And we have with us today Dr. Robb Kelly. He is the owner of Old English Tea Shoppe, which is at 20122 Stone Oak Parkway. That's number 105. 105. Okay, yeah. I gave her the paper that had the right address on it.
Come on, Susie.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm still my brain still,
Yeah. So what a cool concept. I mean, you've opened this restaurant, and there's a lot of people from overseas that are across the pond is the right term,
So
right?
really quickly, before we get into that, just, going from your story, and you, like you said, you rebuilt your business here in Texas, and you now see clients all over. I mean,
Yes.
like you said, celebrities and
Yes.
just everywhere. What made you decide? You know what? I want to open this little restaurant in San Antonio.
Okay, Susie, great question.
Yeah.
So when I first came over, it was like, wouldn't it be cool if we? Now here's one of the reasons behind, and it's just my little petty thing. Every time in Dallas, every time I went to an Irish pub, there was no Irish people in there, and they didn't serve Irish food. They'd serve a burger and we'll call it the Dublin burger.
Yeah.
And the same with the English restaurant. And I said, wouldn't it be great if we created something that was absolutely original with English food, cooked by English chefs, served by English waitresses, not all of them, but absolutely 100% authentic. So 18 years ago, I had that idea. So when my sister visited me a year ago, she said, I'd love to live here, because they had like 9-to-5 jobs. They were struggling. I'm like, why don't you come over? Joking, by the way. Sat by the pool.
Right.
Why don't you come over and we'll run a tea shop? We'll all run a tea shop. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, okay, let's
We're
do
doing
it.
this.
And that was it. I mean, 2 weeks later, they'd moved back. And that was about 12 months ago. That's all.
Wow.
So it was just a baby little thought. But yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
So it's literally our family serving your family.
I love that.
We
That's
love
great.
that tagline, yeah.
And whose recipes are they?
They are recipes from England, recipes from my mom, recipes from my gran, and recipes from my sister, who's a great cook. So all the recipes, this is why when people come in, they're absolutely aghast that everything is cooked on premises and everything's cooked either the day before or that day.
Yeah.
And that's how we want to be. We never, our fish comes in at 4 a.m. Friday morning.
Yeah,
It does not get frozen.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about that. So
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
one
say,
of the more popular things is your fish and chips,
Yeah.
which you only have on Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, the main is Friday, Fryda. Friday we have fish and chips, but obviously we try and guess how many people are going to come. So if we have like 6 or 7 the next day, she'll cook it the next day on Saturday. But if there's anything left there, she throws it away.
Ah, gotcha,
Wow.
Because
gotcha.
she will
Yeah.
not serve food that's more than a day. And cakes, biscuit, no, has to be that day.
Yeah, and I have gone in and had the fish and chips, and they are amazing. Yeah,
I think
really
I think
good.
one of the reasons, obviously, the fish is fresh. We don't freeze, but we have an original beer batter from Manchester that we use. So when an English chef is cooking, and the rest of the people in there come from England, then you know what original fish and chips are like. You know how it should taste with the mushy peas if you need it.
Yes.
So that was the biggest thing, is it has to be original.
Yeah. So I was telling Dr. Robb that I had brought my mother-in-law in, who was from England, and she hadn't found an authentic English restaurant in San Antonio. So we went, and she was so excited. She was blown away, and even the atmosphere when we were in there, and this particular day, the restaurant was buzzing. I mean, it was packed. I mean, I don't think there was a table that was empty. And, you could hear everybody laughing and having a good time. And she said, this is what it's like. Everybody was just, and not just the tables within themselves, but everybody's talking with each other.
Yeah.
So the table next to us, the ladies they were chatting with us about, their, travels. And anyway, it was just a really cool atmosphere and experience, even outside of the amazing food. So
Did you see the map? We have a big British map. You put your pin in where you come
Not
from.
only did I see the map, but there was a lady there that had me go and help her find where she where she grew up on that map. So
That was like a really second idea that absolutely blew up. But I was there the other day, and there's a guy from Newcastle on this table, and then 5 tables away, I've never seen him before. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome. You know, where you from? And he was from Newcastle. So obviously, I took their chairs and I put them there, and I made a 4 table for them, so they were chatting away.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. Well, that's how we want people to come in. We want it to be more like a theatre show, where everything is there taking you back to England, as if you was in a cafe in England, and everybody and everything around you is British. And now, the coolest thing is people start bringing the stuff in. Like somebody brought in from World War II. He was a pilot or something.
That's so cool.
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you're going to have to expand. We start getting all that stuff and you get bigger so you can store that kind of things to see. Yeah. When I was there, I had one of the chicken and mushroom pies, which was delicious. Are you making the crust and everything?
Oh, yeah. Everything is probably done that morning. They're getting at 4 or 5 a.m. The girls, 6 at the latest. And it's my sisters do. And they start rolling the pies and doing them, you know, or the night before, we're allowed to do that. She won't be doing that. But everything, sausage rolls, pie, everything in that cafe is made in-house.
Wow.
We don't
That's
bring
amazing.
anything in apart from the fish. Everything is made. We have a master baker in there. We have a master chef in there. You know, we have staff that are so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the end of the day, if a cake is 2 days old, because we have the master baker, the big cakes.
Yeah.
We give it away.
Wow.
You know, it's just, I can't explain it. It's something that for me is fulfilling a dream of making people happy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. One of the ladies that was chatting with us, she kept telling us, you need to bring your mom back for the English breakfast. She said it is 100% authentic. It's, you know, she said, I was blown away when I came and had it because I hadn't had it since, you know, I was home. And anyway, but one of the things that she mentioned was the blood sausage and
Yes.
everything, the beans. It's
All from
it's an
England.
authentic dish.
Yeah, all from England.
Yeah.
We're not guys go on Amazon and buy it. Everything
Right.
comes from England. So we have to literally order a month in advance and guess. Because people might be amazed by this, but none of us had experience in restaurants or cafes or nothing. None of
Wow.
us. We literally opened the first day. We got 3 waitresses. We sat there. My sister nearly had a meltdown because it was busy the first day. She'd never had a kitchen. And everyone's running around wanting to kill each other because it was so stressed out. And I'm like, guys, we can do what we do. And that's all we can do. Stop rushing around. Calm down. Make them happy. If they're waiting a little too long, give them something free. Go chat to them, you know? So that's why they send me out on the floor. I'm not allowed to do the till. I'm not allowed to waitress or anything like that.
Right.
I go out what they call smoozing. I go out and chat to people.
Yeah,
That's
I would
so
say that makes
important.
sense.
That is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking on your menu, and you have a light English breakfast and a full English breakfast. So I don't know if you'll even count this or not. I've been to Gibraltar. I haven't been to England. I've been to Gibraltar. So it's sort of England light. But what is a light English breakfast and what is a full English breakfast?
Well, the full English breakfast is everything on that Susie just mentioned. And then the half breakfast, obviously, you don't get 2 sausages. You might get 1 sausage. You only get egg. You don't get beans. So if somebody comes up and said, I want a light breakfast, we have one set apart. But if they say, listen, a light breakfast, could I have 2 eggs instead of that? So the big breakfast, the traditional breakfast is overwhelming. It's huge. You know, so that we just thought, hey, let's do half, see what they want, see what we can do, find the most popular half breakfast. So a lot of people in America don't like the black puddings, the blood orange, the puddings. So we take that off and we might put an extra sausage on, but it's a smaller plate, it's a smaller size.
Yeah. So we get a lot of people on our San Antonio restaurant group who are always talking about your afternoon teas. So what is? Can you talk a little bit about the afternoon teas and what they are and how
we get a
somebody
lot of people
participates?
that say they can't find any afternoon teas in
exactly.
San Antonio, and now we got the place.
Right.
First thing I'm going to say out the gate is there's a huge difference between afternoon teas and high teas.
Okay.
Okay, high teas was for the poorer people. They would sit on a higher table and they would get a couple of sandwiches and a cup of tea. That's high teas. Afternoon teas is completely different. It goes back to the 1800s where the Duchess of Bedford she had a lady in waiting. And she wanted something to eat, but she didn't want. It was like between dinner and lunchtime. She went into this food place and she said, "I want a little bit of this, a little bit of that," and that's what it created. So afternoon teas is traditional, served with the plate that you usually see, the 3-tier plates, with teas of your choice. And on the plates are desserts, there's pastries, there's sandwiches, and we've not had one person. And this is a great occasion. All the cups and china from England and. It's a big occasion for them. Not one person has ever finished all of the food.
Wow.
And that warms my sister's heart.
Yeah.
So we make it a big occasion. We did the white tablecloth, when they come in. And that's been our biggest seller so far is we had a group of 40 in once for afternoon tea.
Wow.
Now, at $49 a piece, we want you to have your money's worth.
Sure.
We don't want you to ever go back and go, $49, that was expensive. But... again, you've got to know the difference between afternoon teas and high teas. There's a huge difference. Everything's baked for you. When you call up for afternoon teas, we don't go, okay, it's ready for you on Monday.
Yeah.
We take choice of sandwiches, what pastries you need, what cake, and it's specially made. Like, you can't walk in and go, number 2's for afternoon. You need a name.
Right.
Because you've got your specific food to be carried to that table.
Wow.
And a big fuss is made of you, know, if you're with your family or friends or
Yeah.
the old ladies out, they love it. And, of course, they come dressed up with the hats on. It's a beautiful occasion.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's the fewest number of people that can order the afternoon tea?
One?
Just one.
Yeah,
You'll do
you
it
can
for
come in.
one.
Yeah, of course, we'll do it for one, yeah.
Wow,
And
that's great.
how much you have to let them know one day ahead, or how much ahead of time?
It used to be like 48 hours we lead. If you say 24, we'll work with you if we can.
Yeah.
But because everything's cooked and baked fresh, if we haven't already got it and somebody else hasn't already cancelled, you're not going to get in the next day.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need, but yeah, serve one, which I always feel sorry for because I always go and sit with them. I'm trying to, learn more about the story, or
Right.
somebody might cancel on them. So what we do is when they book for 2 and one cancels and they show up, we box all the food for the second person and take it on with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And we can take away, by the way, afternoon teas. We can prep it so you can come in,
Oh, so
take it
you
off
can
the
take
counter.
it.
You can go and have it anywhere you wish. We had a lot of people coming in for the football, sausage rolls, meat pies, fish and chips, and we just packed it and off you go. So
Wow.
in the future, 4 to 6 months, we'll be opening our catering side.
That's
Oh, that's-
amazing.
that's
That'll
very
be
nice.
really good. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so the afternoon teas, I see that you're open. Let me do your hours. You're open Wednesday through Sunday. From 7 to 11 is breakfast. 11:30 to 3 is lunch. And that time in between 11 and 11:30, you can maybe get a little of each, a little of both
Yes.
during that time as you're making the change in the kitchen. But after 3, you're closed. Is that when the afternoon tea is, after 3? Or you
No,
can do
during
it-
the day. I mean,
Okay.
the earliest we've had it is 11:30 when somebody come in and wants it, they booked it. But what we will do is if you can't get there for 2 o'clock, 2:30, we'll take your booking and we'll stay open from 3 until whenever you finish.
Yeah.
Oh, very
just
nice.
just for you guys so you can
Very
finish.
nice.
We want the right music on, the right mood. We just want you to have a great time. So, yeah, we definitely work with our customers.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, and really, I know you were talking about the price point. That's actually really good. I mean, $49 is a good.
We did our research and we thought we've had a few people on Facebook saying, it's very expensive. And again, you've got to realize we're not going to HEB for this stuff. It's
Right.
being made. The hours
Yeah.
that go into an afternoon tea is probably 8 hours of
Yeah.
cooking, preparing, baking, making sure you get the sandwiches and everything. Because there's a lot there. I'm looking at now. You got choice sandwiches, cucumber, egg, mayonnaise. You get all them choices. You get 2 of each. You got the keys for tartars. You got the sausage rolls. You got the pastries, the cakes, the sweets, the assortments, the great. All that stuff
a lot.
goes in. So we thought that was a great price point. We have not had anybody come in who's had afternoon tea and said either that was a little expensive or there wasn't enough food.
Yeah. So as far as the teas go, is there a tea that goes with each of the different, or do you just pick a specific tea, or how does
Yeah,
that work?
you have a choice of teas when you come in. I think there's like 20 choices you
Oh,
can
wow.
have.
Wow.
Most
Okay.
of the people go for Earl Grey because that's usually what they think about England, that people drink Earl Grey all the time.
So what is the more traditional tea?
The traditional tea is what's called PG
Okay.
tips. PG tips
Yeah.
and
I've seen that.
Tetley. Yeah, they're the most common tea that people drink in England.
Okay.
And most people will say, hey, what tea do you think I should have? And then we obviously suggest usually them two. But there is an assortment. There's also decaf. And
Yeah.
we also have a huge, we just started this last week, vegan menu.
Wow.
You know,
Oh,
so
that's
people can
fantastic.
come in and so we're trying to we listen to people.
Yeah.
Like when the afternoon teas were going out, we used to do jams in like a little packet, and we had this debate on the Facebook page, which I got a little heated because I was really upset and hurt that we'd let people down. But we changed it to proper pots of jam and clotted cream. We make our own clotted cream, you know, which again comes back from the English chef who's from London. So yeah, it really is a good occasion, and it's
amazing.
crazy how people dress. It's beautiful how people dress for it.
Yeah, I'd love to see the hats.
I know.
I love ladies
We need
in
to.
hats.
We need to go
yes.
do an English tea. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun to
Yeah.
get a group to
An
San Antonio
afternoon tea.
restaurant. There you go. We should do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I was looking at your menu. You have specials every day, and on Saturday, green Thai chicken curry. And I know that in England, y'all eat a lot of curry.
Yes.
How, was that way when you were a child, or is that relatively new? The love of Indian food.
No, it's there's a place in Manchester called the Curry Mile, which is literally 1.2 miles of Indian restaurants, Chinese restaurants in Chinatown, obviously. So yeah, there's a lot of curry eaten. But when I came over here, and no disrespect to everyone, because I'm not tried everywhere. I probably tried 3 places, but we couldn't get a curry like we used to get in Manchester. But now we have one, because we have a girl from there who cooks it, and you know it's just amazing. So yeah, it's definitely guys worth coming in and trying.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So my daughter, she travels to England quite a bit, and in fact she's heading there right now. But that's one of the things. The first time that she went, that kind of blew her away was the fact that they served curry with the fish and chips.
Yes.
And so
Favorite
yeah, and
of
she
mine.
was like, "What in the?"
Yeah.
She said, and now she said, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go and have that."
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's one of my
Anyway,
favorites,
it's
fish and chips with
Yeah.
curry sauce.
Wow. Well, this has been absolutely fascinating, and you're such a good guest. Will you come back sometime?
Oh, of course I will. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Everyone, if you haven't tried the Old English Tea Shop yet, you need to go.
You need to go. It's an
yeah,
experience.
It is an experience.
So that is something, you know, just to kind of throw that out there. You know, we say this all the time, but that's one of the things that people are now looking for. You know, there's a lot of places you can go and you can get good food and all that kind of thing, but people want good food and an experience.
It's an
And
experience.
this
There
is
you
one
go.
of those places that you can go and it's an experience.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
if you come in, guys, and you see something like we get footballers in all the time, fans, and they go, "Where's there's no Chelsea flag?" I buy right there when I'm talking to them. I'll order it, and it'll be up next time you come. So if you do have a favourite team, come in and tell us, and I'll make sure I
I
buy
love
that for
it.
you.
I love it.
No, that's so cool. And so when you go to the Old English Tea Shop, you can ask for Dr. Robb. Now he may be working because he's next door, but look for his sister Sandra or his brother-in-law Peter. They're there all the time. And
So I'm so sorry for your other business. It's right next door.
Yes,
is that right?
We got offices right next door. Very
Wow.
discreet door leads into 5 or 6 offices. But yeah, which that came about as well. Weirdly enough, because we saw the premises for the shop, and we obviously leased the shop, and we got into it. And then the realtor came and said, "Hey, the guy that was supposed to move next door, a doctor, he's pulled out." So Ashley went round to have a look at it, and he said, "We'll take it." So they did
Wow.
the spec especially for us. So literally, we go out the back door and in the other back door, and
That's
I wash
amazing.
up or whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
I'll jump in there and do that.
That is wonderful. And what is the name? So so what is the name of your consult or your? I don't know what do you call it? Is it
The Robb Kelly Group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
Robb
Robb
Kelly
Kelly
Group. Okay,
Group,
got
yeah.
it. Got it.
So you'll see a little plaque next, small door. That's where. So listen, if you do pop in, so here's an exclusive for you guys. If you do pop in the shop and have some great food, but you're interested in my story, if you pop next door or ask one of the staff to come and get me, or ask for Ashley, I'll bring you a free book. I'll sign it and everything,
Wow.
and I'll give it to you free.
Okay.
And as
I'll
long as
be
you do
in.
one thing, as long as you pass it on to somebody else when you finish reading it.
I love that.
It. That is very, very nice of
I
you.
love that.
Very cool. The Old English Tea Shop, 20122 Stone Oak Parkway. It's open Wednesday through Sunday from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. You gotta check it out.
You do. Yeah.
It's so cool. They've got so many. Yeah, and not only just the food on the menu, you have some candies and other things, other tidbits from England.
Yeah, we have chocolate, we have candies, we have chips. We call crisps. Different Walkers, the biggest company in England. So yeah, we have a lot. And again, if you come in and you go, hey, you know something, such and such a chocolate I never see over here, we'll get hold of our guys in Manchester and we'll ship that over. Somebody asked for hula hoops. I don't really have a hula hoops here. I don't think you do. So we got 48 packets of hula hoops, and he comes in every week and he buys 2 packets. And people say, you bought a whole box for him? It's like, look, if he's happy coming in, getting what he wants, that's what it's about.
That's very cool.
Wow, that is so cool. All right, folks. Well, now you know where it is. Now you know where you need to go.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Sure. Dr. Robb Kelly, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. Great interview, guys. And I can't wait to come back.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really
so cool
story.
All right. Well, we will have another interview next week.
We will.
And it's going to be great also.
It will. And this is our second video podcast.
That's right.
And thank you so much for being our second video podcast
Let's get these
guest.
in.
There you go.
Get them in the video.
That's perfect.
Love it. All right. All right, folks. Well, we'll see you again next week. And don't forget to share this with your friends. Tell everyone about this podcast. The more you know, the better it tastes.
Yeah, and eat local, guys. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. That was fantastic.